Hi everyone. I want to talk through a couple of draft assignments that you have for this week, week 6, where you are working with feedback and your own thinking on your research questions to develop an introduction for project 2 and then to revise that introduction based on your peer feedback and write about how you are searching for your first source and what you find when you read that source, and how that source helps you answer your iSearch question. So this first assignment is due the first half of the week, the second one is due the second half of the week, and then you have a reflection on the rhetorical situation of the iSearch paper. So let's take a look at the week breakdown just to reinforce that. Hopefully by Wednesday you have watched this video, you've read the chapter linked right here, and you've drafted your introduction to Project 2 and submitted that for peer feedback. The introduction for Project 2 has to include these 3 things: your iSearch question, what you already know about the topic, and why you want to research this question. So it's your question, your prior knowledge about the topic, which may be a lot or may be just a little bit, and why you want to research that. What's your motivation for researching it? Then you are going to get assigned a peer review. The prompt for that peer review will show up probably in your email. It will definitely show up here in Canvas. So when you get that peer review assignment, you're going to click in your to-dos and follow the links that will take you to your peer's draft. I think last time when we were trying to do peer reviews, some people just didn't know how to click into the peer review, or maybe you were trying to get there through your email and not through your Canvas dashboard. You need to access the draft that you're assigned to peer review through Canvas. So either in our class and finding your to-dos, or here in the dashboard. When you see that, then you'll see the peer's file and you'll be able to leave comments right in it. So let's go back to this week's assignments. You probably will hear my son watching Minecraft videos on YouTube in the background, so I'm sorry if that's distracting. It's after school time and it's super busy here. Okay, when you're doing peer review, you are going to write about the following things as you read your peer's introduction. What ideas need clarification or explanation? How is the organization of the draft working for you? So you get to decide as the writer, do you want to put your question first, then your prior knowledge, and then your motivation? Do you want to start with a narrative of your prior experiences and build up to your question? Those kinds of things are up to you. So as a reader then, when you're doing peer review, how is the organization of the draft working for you? Would you suggest a different order and why? And then also as the reader, I want you to tell the writer of the paper what you're looking forward to learning about in this paper. What is it that you're excited about reading more about as we move forward? Only people who submit a draft will get a peer review assigned to them, so please make sure that you submit a draft so that you can also get your credit for completing a peer review. Okay, let's go back to the modules. Later in the week, you are going to take some time to revise that introduction based on your peer feedback, and you are going to start drafting your iSearch paper. So for this project, it's really important that you know that you don't have to wait until you gather all of your information and read all of your sources to start writing. You can actually start writing about your research process and what you find as you start researching this week. This is a research narrative in many respects. So writing about it as you go will help you monitor or capture the details of your process. So here are the directions. Using your peers' feedback and your reflection on the assignment, that you're like your mental reflection, revise or the Project 3 rhetorical reflection that you're going to do for Sunday also. Revise your introduction and begin researching, taking notes on your process. Compose initial body paragraphs of the iSearch paper, and this may be 1 or more paragraphs. describing your research process. So how are you researching? What tools are you using? What keywords? Whatever seems relevant there. And how you're identifying a relevant first source that can help you work on that question. And in the chapter you're reading for this week, you'll read about identifying relevant sources. Then you're going to report the information from that source. That's something you've gotten really used to doing because we've written several summaries this semester already, both in the rhetorical analysis and for some other reading assignments. So report the relevant information from that source that can help you answer your question, and then reflect on the information from the source. And in those reflections, you might be thinking about how that source helps you answer your question, surprising things you discovered in that reading. You may do some rhetorical analysis, thinking about how that author is presenting their information. Really, this part here, how you reflect on the information from the source, is up to you. The Project 2A assignment description does have some prompts for helping you do this initial body paragraph composition. I also want you to make sure that you practice citation in your draft. So when you are paraphrasing or quoting from a source, you need to include your citations so that your reader knows when the information in a sentence is coming from one of the sources that you're researching and not from your own head. And you're going to turn that file into me, then probably be about probably 1.5 pages to 2 pages. You're going to submit that for my feedback, and you'll get feedback from me early next week so that you can keep working on the process. Okay, so this week is really about just diving in and getting into your research. I will probably post a second video midweek to help you out with some things that I know are coming up in conversation with students. And otherwise, you should be refining your research questions and getting out, first of all, the stuff that's in your head, what you already know about this topic and why you want to know that. And that's what you'll submit for this first draft on Wednesday.